Hi everyone, marhaba. Maya Abu Street here. Thank you all for your comments and likes on the video that I shared yesterday, where I touched briefly, very briefly, on soul loss and soul retrieval. This is a very big subject, and it is echoing trauma in the world of psychology and therapy. And trauma is being addressed profusely in the times we are living. Whatever is surfacing has been very much intertwined over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years and being replicated. Some of the comments that were shared were from healing practitioners, and I thank you for taking the time to write and share your comments and concerns as well. We're exploring together here. That's what we're doing. We're exploring together, seeing new ways, seeing really new ways, because the old ways are not working. So taking what was old, filtering it, bringing the gems out of it, bringing the nectars out of it, and shifting our inner world in order to see possibilities, to see breakthroughs. So your comments were very much interconnected, and they're related to the readiness of the soul to call for its parts back or to receive. And the other part is related to when the practitioner is being challenged by a trauma that echoes the same one within. And I know very well that people from different parts of the world, and especially now from the Middle East, are seeing this profusely and experiencing it. Coming from Lebanon, seeing trauma and working with trauma was in the shamanic world, and the repetitions that I kept dealing with myself were echoed by people I was holding space to or for. And so let's address the first part. Soul retrieval can happen in one session, and also soul retrieval can happen in 500 sessions. I'm exaggerating here, but in many sessions. Because the readiness is really like opening Pandora's box. It's the same as when we are asking the question, there's something that is not right, that we were banned to ask all our life because we were taught the linear way. Don't ask questions that you're not supposed to ask. And so people who stepped into the healing world and became healing practitioners are the ones who asked the questions. And so soul retrieval can happen in one time and or in many, many times. What I noticed over the years is that when soul retrieval happens in a ceremony or in a shamanic session with me, I also ask the person to continue the work. What that means is that to also call on the parts of their soul to come back to at least a state of wholeness that feels balanced, because self is what needs the balance. And there's a lot going on with self, including the emotions, including the mental stuff, and many times the physical stuff as well when there's chronic illnesses. So calling on those parts also is required from the person, not only from the practitioner. So in shamanism, we go on a journey and guide the parts or the parts that are ready to come back. But there's many times I've noticed that the person is not ready to receive that part, or the person only sees the traumatized part. And what that means is that, for example, the inner child is traumatized and the person only sees the trauma of the inner child. And the connection with the innocence of the inner child requires the work. So that's what I meant yesterday in my video when I said calling on those parts to come back healed. And that's where integration work is required. I mean, at least I'm sharing from the experience that I've seen with people, and also I've read from other practitioners, mainly elders. And there's a cat beside me that I'm taking care of. Her name is Charlie, and she's here requiring my attention as I'm with you. So, here we go. The other part is when, as practitioners, we are faced and we are challenged by energies that have the same signature as energies within us that we did not either deal with or we did not process. And that's where I would say we learn. That's where we go through rites of passages. That's where we go through exploring those aspects, unless we want to stop. And as practitioner, when we ask to keep growing, to keep exploring, we will be faced by people who are mimicking and echoing our own traumas or unresolved traumas, because we are always working with many things, but at the same time we will be challenged by others who will echo that for us. The answer to that, or the exploration, I would say that I've been really in a very deep dive with, is being honest with the person and saying, hey, I can't help you. I can't help you. I'm not ready. Maybe someone else can. So as practitioners, we also need to step more into honesty. And that's part of also addressing the energies within us and saying, hey, I'm still not able to hold space for this within myself. How can I hold space for someone else to see it without judgment, to see it without running away from it as well, right? For me, it's been very much related to relationships. So this is where as I mentioned yesterday in my video, I've done enough work on myself, and when it comes to establishing a relationship, I am learning again. It's like a white canvas where the so-called healing practitioner doesn't have to be the healing practitioner in the relationship. Simple as that. So as healing practitioners, as space holders in any modality, when we are faced with traumas that echo unresolved traumas within us, either that's what I've done, either I have said to the person, I can't help you, and in other situations I've taken time to integrate what that was about for me before holding space for someone fully. If we go in and we are exploring with the person and knowing that their trauma is echoing ours, at least we can be honest with them. And if they're ready to go on that journey of exploration, then maybe this is possible, but it can get tricky. I hope I'm being as clear as possible here. So, or that's basically what I've experienced over time. And I remember one specific experience where someone got in touch with me, and he said, I've tried all the healers, I've tried all the modalities, I'm in excruciating pain. Pain is not stopping, and I feel like, I want to end my life. And he was calling me. And when I sat with that while on the call with him. I responded, I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing this. And I can imagine what you've been through, but I don't think I can help you. If you come to me and tell me, hey, you know, I'm thinking of ending my life, who am I to come and save your life? And so he appreciated the honesty, and he mentioned to me that I'll get back to you. Obviously, he did not. And but it felt right. It felt right to say, hey, I can't help you. There's a personal decision here required with the practitioner. It's impossible. It's impossible. Energetically, it's impossible. Unless one is going on an ego trip, which, you know, I've met people on that level as well. And that's where, you know, there's a lot of checking in and checking in with each other as well. And thank God I have people I check in with that remind me, hey, you know, that feels right. That feels right. And this does not feel right. And I'm like, okay, thank you for your support. And I think in the healing world, that's where we need each other even more. So, I hope this wasn't too complex. I felt like I went on a journey with you. And I would love your comments. I would love also to know more about questions that we can raise and address in different fields. So for us to always meet, because we can always meet from whatever modality or whatever modality that we practice. There's always meeting points. Then there's always space for us as healing practitioners to hold space for each other as well. So, here we go. Much love, and until next time, take care.